Picture this scenario.
Okay.
It is February 2026. You open your banking app. You see a pending deposit for $35,000.
That is a life-changing amount of money.
Right. And that is just your monthly payout from Facebook.
Right.
But the kicker here, you did not film a single second of original footage to get it.
You are effectively just an aggregator at that point.
Exactly. You are curating, but then you wake up the very next morning, you reach for your phone, you check the app, and your account is gone.
Just completely banned.
Banned. The income drops to zero instantly. This is the high-stakes reality of what we call the green screen economy. It is incredibly lucrative, but the ground beneath you is totally unstable.
It is a classic problem. You are building a massive castle on rented land. But, the rent checks right now are paying out incredibly well. You just have to understand the specific mechanics of the platform.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are dissecting a guide by Max Ante. It is titled Mastering Fair Use for Facebook Monetization.
It is a really detailed breakdown.
It is. And honestly, when I first saw that title, I was highly skeptical. We are talking about Facebook in 2026. My core assumption was that the only people left on there are posting photos of their grandkids, or they are arguing in local HOA groups. Is there actually a creator economy left on that platform?
That assumption is super common, but the data paints a completely different picture. We're looking at 3.07 billion daily active users.
3 billion, that is almost half the planet.
Yeah.
But be honest here. How many of those are actual engaged users versus just legacy accounts that people forgot to delete?
A very significant portion are highly active, and that is actually where the massive opportunity lies today. See, most of the big creators migrated away. They went to TikTok and Instagram years ago.
They chase the cultural zeitgeist.
Right. They followed the trendy apps. So you have this huge population of 3 billion people. They are hungry for content, but there is a severe shortage of high-quality supply.
It is a fundamental supply and demand imbalance.
Exactly. So here is our roadmap for today. First, we're going to look at that supply gap. Why Facebook pays so much right now.
Then we need to get very specific about the legal tightrope.
Right. What constitutes fair use versus just outright stealing content? Because that distinction seems really blurry to a lot of people.
After that, we get into the step-by-step execution, how to research accounts and use green screens properly.
And finally, the escape hatch. How to turn those viral views into an owned email list.
Let us start with the economics. You mentioned the creators left. That created a vacuum. But Facebook has been trying to lure creators back for years. Why is 2026 suddenly different?
It all comes down to the metrics they use now. The source material highlights something called qualified view metrics. In the past, you could totally game the system. You could use bots or cheap clickbait. Now, Meta is filtering aggressively for qualified views.
Meaning real human eyes watching for a significant duration.
Exactly. And because the supply of creators who can actually hold attention is so low, the payouts are extremely high. Facebook is aggressively paying for transformative content to keep users scrolling.
Because if they stop scrolling, Facebook loses ad revenue.
Right. But the barrier to entry is not zero. You have to prove yourself first. To even get invited to the monetization program, you need about 5,000 to 10,000 followers, plus 600,000 eligible minutes viewed.
In a 60-day window.
Yes, in 60 days.
600,000 minutes. That sounds like an impossible mountain to climb for a totally brand new creator.
It sounds huge. But in viral video math, it is really not. 1 or 2 modest hits get you there overnight. It is an invite-only system. Consistency is what triggers that automated apply email.
You just have to show up.
Yeah. You do not need to be famous. You just need to solve Facebook's main problem. You have to keep users glued to the app.
So this is just about popularity. It's about an economic imbalance.
Exactly. It is an arbitrage opportunity where demand vastly exceeds supply.
Okay, the demand is definitely there. But let us look at the method itself. We are talking about taking other people's viral videos and then reposting them with a green screen reaction. I really have to play devil's advocate here. Isn't that just theft?
This is exactly where people get banned, and it is where the guide gets highly technical. Reposting is theft, pure and simple.
So what happens if you just rip a video?
If you just download a TikTok with the watermark and upload it to Facebook, you are done. You trigger limited originality of content flags. Your page dies immediately. The strategy here relies entirely on a legal doctrine. It is called fair use.
But fair use is a legal defense you use in a courtroom. How does an algorithm, an automated sorting system that picks winners based on user behavior, know what fair use actually is?
The algorithm looks for one specific thing, transformation. But, and this is a critical distinction, it is not just about visual transformation. You cannot just put a filter on it.
Right.
It is about market transformation. You have to fundamentally change the actual purpose of the content.
Give me a concrete example of that. What does a transformative video actually look like compared to a stolen one?
The guide uses a brilliant example, the junk removal business. Imagine a highly viral video. A guy is bragging to the camera. He says, I built a junk removal business to $150,000. And step one was buying this beautiful $40,000 truck.
Okay, yeah. Typical hustle culture content.
Right. Now, a lazy creator just reposts that. Maybe they add a tiny caption that just says, wow, crazy.
That is theft.
Total theft. It offers the exact same value as the original video. But a fair use creator does something different. They use the green screen feature, they put their own face in the corner, and they pause the video early on.
They interrupt the pattern.
Exactly. They stop and say, hold on, this is terrible advice. Buying a $40,000 truck as step one is exactly how you go bankrupt. Here's how you actually test this business model with just $200.
I see. So you are completely pivoting the content. You move it from pure entertainment to actual education.
You are changing the market. The original video appeals to people who just want to see a cool, shiny truck. Your video appeals to people who want to start a business safely.
Because you are actively criticizing and correcting the original creator.
Yes. You aren't replacing the original at all. You are analyzing it.
That makes perfect sense legally. But why does the algorithm actually prefer the reaction video? Why wouldn't it just show people the original?
Because of conflict. Conflict drives deep retention. When you interrupt a video and say, this is totally wrong, the viewer instinctively stops scrolling.
They want to see the fight.
They want to know why it is wrong. A static video of a guy buying a truck is passive. A video of someone tearing apart that financial decision is highly active. It holds their attention much longer.
Is the key distinction whether you replace the original or add to it?
Precisely. If your version renders the original unnecessary, you are in trouble.
Okay, so we understand the core theory now. We need to find viral content that is wrong, or maybe incomplete or controversial, and then we add immense value to it. But how do you actually find that specific content?
It is tough.
If I open Instagram right now, I'm just going to see what my friends are eating, or weird conspiracy theories.
Your personal feed is totally useless for this. It is way too messy. The guide outlines a specific tactic. They call it the research count.
It's just a burner account?
Essentially, yes. You create a brand new, empty Instagram account. You never post anything on it. You strictly use it to engage with your chosen niche.
Give me an example of how you train it.
Say you want to be a finance creator. You create this burner account, and you only watch, like, and save finance videos. You swipe past everything else immediately.
You ruthlessly train the algorithm.
Within 48 hours, that feed transforms. It becomes a highly curated stream of viral candidates. You aren't hunting for content anymore. The algorithm is serving you the best performing videos on a silver platter.
And once you finally have that curated feed, what exactly are you looking for? Just massive view counts.
High views are the baseline. Think maybe 500,000 to 5 million views. But you are really looking for what the source calls signals.
Signals.
You want a video that triggers a real internal reaction in your own brain. You watch it and think, I strongly disagree with this, or they miss the most important part of the story.
Or even just, I could explain this concept so much better.
Exactly. That genuine internal reaction is your script. It totally removes the friction of writing. You aren't staring at a blank page wondering what on earth to say. You are just entering a conversation that is already happening online.
I have to admit something here. I still wrestle with prompt drift myself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. When I try to create content, I get bogged down in perfectionism. I will record a simple voiceover 10 times. Or I keep tweaking the script until I completely lose the original energy. It sounds like this method forces you to be a lot more raw.
It does. Authenticity completely beats polish here. The guide explicitly recommends using the basic green screen template right inside CapCut. You aren't building a polished documentary.
You are just overlaying your face.
You put your face in the corner, you hit record, and you speak your mind. If it looks too highly produced, it actually hurts your trust with the audience. People want to feel like they are FaceTiming a friend who just has a really hot take.
Speed is the actual feature, not the bug.
Exactly.
But there is one part of the execution where the guide says you absolutely cannot speed through. and that is the upload process.
Oh, the toggles.
Right. I do this all the time personally. I post a reel on Instagram, and I just hit that share to Facebook toggle because it is one single click. You are saying that kills the reach.
It absolutely destroys it. The source is incredibly adamant about this. Never use the share to toggle. Ever. You must upload natively to every single platform.
Why does that matter to the algorithm? It is the exact same video file.
It is about metadata. Hidden digital tags that tell computers what a file actually is. Plus platform prioritization. If Facebook sees a post that is just a lazy mirror of an Instagram post, it treats it as recycled garbage.
It suppresses the reach.
Heavily. But if you upload the file directly into Facebook Reels, the algorithm treats it as fresh, native content.
Why go through the trouble of uploading natively everywhere?
Toggles kill reach. Native uploads signal you are a distinct creator on that platform.
That is the kind of boring, completely unsexy detail that actually makes a business work. Beat. But let us pivot for a second. I know there are listeners right now thinking, okay, the money sounds great, but I am totally burnt out on video.
A lot of people are.
I do not want to film my face, even if it is just a tiny reaction box. Is there a version of this arbitrage that doesn't involve a camera at all?
There is. And honestly, for the introverts out there, it might be even more effective. The guide calls it the non-video route. It involves repurposing text and photos.
How does that actually work if Facebook is pushing video reels so hard right now?
Well, the main feed still desperately needs static content. The strategy here is to leverage Twitter, or X. You hunt for a viral tweet, something with massive engagement, 50,000 likes or more. You screenshot that tweet, and you post the image to Facebook. But, and here's that crucial fair use element popping up again, you do not just post the screenshot blindly, you add a highly polarized text response.
So instead of a video reaction, it is a purely text-based reaction.
Exactly. Let us say there's a viral tweet that says, remote work is completely destroying modern productivity.
Yeah.
You screenshot that exact tweet. Your caption on Facebook isn't just, interesting point.
You have to take a real stance.
Your caption says, hard disagree. Remote work is the single only reason small businesses are surviving right now. Here's exactly why.
You are manufacturing a debate directly in the comment section.
Because conflict is the ultimate currency. Algorithms reward raw engagement above all else. A phrase like hard disagree practically invites people to pick a side.
They comment to aggressively defend their view, or they attack yours.
And all those comments signal to Facebook that this post is highly engaging, so they push it to millions of more people.
So conflict is essentially the currency here.
Yes. Clear stances drive comments, which drives distribution.
It is a bit cynical, but undeniably effective. You are basically curating a town square argument.
You really are. And that actually brings us to the most critical part of this entire deep dive.
The escape hatch.
Right. We have talked a lot about how to get the views and how to get the money directly from Facebook. But as we said right in the intro, relying on that money is incredibly dangerous.
Because the digital landlord can kick you out at any second.
Exactly. The $35,000 a month is amazing until the policy changes, or you catch a random ban. The guide strongly argues that the real wealth is not the Facebook payout.
The payout is just the bait.
The true wealth is funneling that massive daily traffic into a private email list.
I feel like telling a creator to build an email list is like telling them to eat their vegetables. Everyone knows they absolutely should do it, but nobody actually wants to sit down and do it.
It sounds super boring until you actually sit down and realize the math. You do not own your Facebook followers. Meta owns them. But you own your email list. It is totally portable.
If Facebook disappears off the face of the earth tomorrow, you still have your core audience.
You can just email them. But here is the major friction point. Facebook does not want people leaving their app. Ever.
Right. If I put a link to my newsletter right in the main caption, doesn't the algorithm punish the post?
Yes, severely. The algorithm constantly scans captions for external links. If it sees a .com, it throttles the reach of that post immediately because you are actively trying to siphon their precious users away.
So how do you actually get them out of the app then?
The first comment hack.
Okay, break that down.
The algorithm is very strict about the main captions, but it treats the comment section entirely differently. Comments are logged as user interactions. So you post your video normally, no links in the caption.
Yeah.
Then, as soon as it is live, you immediately comment on your own post. You say, if you want the full breakdown, I explain it in my free newsletter. Link right here.
And the algorithm just ignores the external link hiding in the comments.
Generally, yes. It just sees a comment getting engagement. It thinks, great, people are actively discussing this piece of content. It doesn't penalize the post reach nearly as much.
That is a wildly crucial technical workaround. But I want to push a bit on the actual value of the list itself.
Yeah.
We are talking about monetizing Facebook views directly. Does an email list actually make real money? Or is it really just a digital insurance policy?
It makes significant money, often way more than the platform ad revenue itself. The guide mentions specific tools like Sparkloop.
Sparkloop, that is a newsletter referral tool, right?
It is. You can get paid per single subscriber. Other big newsletters will pay you, sometimes $2 to $5, just for getting someone to sign up for their list.
Wait, so let me make sure I have this straight. Facebook pays you for the initial view. You move that viewer over to your email list using the comment hack. Then you get paid by another totally different newsletter for that exact same signup.
You are double dipping. It is brilliant. And then once those people are permanently on your list, you can sell sponsorships. If you have 50,000 dedicated subscribers, you can easily charge $1,000 or more for a single sponsored email blast.
2-sec silence.
No.
Imagine growing from 96,000 to 250,000 subscribers just from comment links. That is an asset that generates massive cash flow without you needing to go viral every single day.
That right there is the fundamental difference between a temporary gig and a real business. One specific creator mentioned in the source material grew their list to 250,000 subscribers purely through this exact method.
That is an asset worth millions of dollars.
Easily.
Is the Facebook payout actually just the bait?
100%. The payout pays the bills, the list builds the empire.
If you are just blindly chasing views for the ad revenue, you are playing a short-term game. You are playing against a casino that eventually closes its doors.
But if you use the views to build a list, you are walking out of the casino with all the chips in your pocket.
That is the big mental shift. So let us recap this entire machine. It seems like a very clear 4-step process.
Step 1. You identify the massive supply gap. Facebook desperately needs retention. You step in and provide it.
Step 2. You use fair use correctly. You do not just lazily repost. You fundamentally transform the content by adding real conflict or education.
Step 3. Upload natively. Every single time. Do not be lazy and rely on the auto-share toggles.
And step 4. Aggressively move those millions of viewers to an email list via that first comment hack.
Exactly. You build the asset you own using the traffic you rent.
It totally transforms the idea of being a YouTuber or a Facebooker. You transition into being a true media company. You aren't just making digital noise anymore. You are building a permanent distribution channel.
And that is exactly what the smartest operators are doing right now. They treat the viral video simply as top-of-funnel marketing. It is not the final product itself.
We have covered a ton of ground today, from complex legal definitions to the specific metadata of video files. But I want to leave you with a final thought on risk. We talked a lot about the risk of getting banned. But isn't there a huge business risk in just being a commentator?
What do you mean?
Well, if you stop finding good viral videos to react to, your entire business completely stops.
That is the ultimate vulnerability. You are wholly dependent on the broader ecosystem to feed you. But the primary counterargument is that by building the email list, you eventually earn the right to go direct. Once you have that massive audience sitting in your inbox, you do not need a viral video to talk to them anymore. You can just hit send on an original thought.
You completely graduate from the algorithm.
You graduate from the algorithm.
If you want to dig deeper into the actual safety checklists for fair use, because we honestly really just scratched the surface of the legal stuff today, I highly recommend checking out the full source material we linked. The fair use safety checklist alone could literally save your account.
It is absolutely worth printing out and taping right to your monitor.
Thanks for diving in with us today. Keep experimenting, keep building, and remember, renting attention is fine, but owning it is always better. Think about how you can apply this arbitrage to your own niche this week. We will see you in the next deep dive.
See you then.